How's it going, everybody? My name is Far, and today I wanted to discuss a little bit of Enlisted. So this is a new free-to-play game by Gaijin, the makers of War Thunder, and it's pretty cool actually. It almost feels like a combination of old-school Call of Duty with sort of a twist of Battlefield here, a little bit of Rising Storm there. It's actually surprisingly a good time, especially if you can get some friends on. I love the whole like PvPvE thing going on where it's you and your squad of AI against the enemies and their squads of AI. I've always wanted a game like that since probably Operation Flashpoint Dragon Rising on the 360, where you and your friend could go up against each other with your own AI like armies, but you're also in a first person perspective and you can switch between the units at any time. Actually, I don't think you could do that in Flashpoint, but in this game you can. You can actually switch via a hot swap mechanic to any AI companion on your squad at any time. Unless they're dying, or dead, I guess. But, or if you're dead, then you have to do it manually. But, honestly, that's the best mechanic in this game. It's the thing that makes this really unique and special to me. And I know that for the hardcore, like, PvP guys out there, this probably isn't great, but I hope they do add a straight PvP mode in the future, just so those people can get their fix of the game in the way that they want to. But as a casual experience, this is really cool. I will say though, I'm not super happy about the whole like free-to-play aspect of this game, because I got really burned by Heroes and Generals back on Steam a few years ago, because that game is just so, or at least it was, I don't know if it is now, but it was so pay to win and just very blatantly so. You could still win gunfights, you could still do okay, but if you went up against a player who had a bank account of any size, they were already at a huge advantage over you. And even games like PlanetSide 2 get this a lot better, because sure, that game has a lot of pay for convenience, but you can still take on even the best players with some pretty low-end kit in that game. Whereas in Heroes and Generals, not so much. But back to Enlisted, so far it feels pretty balanced, although I have experienced a couple of times where players are a few ranks above me, a few campaign levels. They have unlocked new troop companies that you can bring into battle, and they've also unlocked like radio operators who allow you to call in artillery strikes on the map. We had an instance during my stream yesterday where my buddies and I were playing as the Americans. We're rushing out of our spawn, out of our forest, into the A-cap objective, and pretty much within 10 seconds of the round starting, an enemy has fired an entire barrage right where my entire squad is. Our squad gets wiped instantly before we can even hit the capture point closest to our base.
Other than just like randomizing it, I'm gonna put a fob up. That last map
Whoa,
was the first
whoa,
time I
whoa,
actually.
whoa, whoa. What the f was that?
Wow, those rocket.
That's the yeah, it's an early game that got like rushed. That's the first time I ever like played that map.
How the f do they get that right off the bat?
They do, but he just wasted his only reserve.
No, you put another one in A. Oh shit, get inside, get inside, get inside,
And
get
so
inside.
basically through no fault of our own, and by the enemy having a higher leveled player on their team, we got squad wiped. So I can only imagine that this could become a problem later, but for right now it seems pretty tame. There's only a few instances where I really do feel like something is a bit overpowered. I will say the gunplay, while feeling a little bit janky at times, is actually really fun to do, and it feels really snappy and responsive when you do actually get some hits on target. But I will say some of the guns are clearly outshining others. The bolt actions almost always are a 1 to 2 shot kill at almost any range, and they are really fast and very accurate, especially on keyboard and mouse. And I've noticed that if you're trying to run like a submachine gun, the effectiveness of that said submachine gun is going to be very, very bad, unless you're really in close range. And even then, sometimes if the guy has a bolt action, he can just kind of like quick shot you, or quick flick, or whatever you call it, snapshot. What's the term for that? There used to be a whole trick shot. Yeah, that's it. He could basically trick shot you. And it's, I don't know, it makes me feel like conflicted, because on the one hand, you get bolt actions pretty much from level 1. So if everybody has a bolt action that lets you kind of 1-shot, 2-shot kill most enemies, then that's a good thing, because it means everybody's kind of on a level playing field in terms of the damage that they can deal. But on the other hand, you have bolt actions everywhere, and they're really powerful, and they're very accurate. And it almost makes me wish that there was something else there to kind of mitigate that a little bit, like some more recoil per shot or some more swaying of the rifle. Maybe just something to add a little bit more of an aggressiveness to it to make it a little bit harder to aim. And then same thing for like mounted MG positions, like MG42 nests and things like that. I think they would benefit from being more inaccurate, just to make it where you're not lasering people across the map, because then it feels like a video game and not so much like a real life World War II game. I mean, I guess it's a video game, but you know what I mean. It feels more immersive when everybody is firing off shots and they really have to put effort into it, and they can't just kind of like point and click adventure all of these enemies across the map. Granted, it's gotten better. The more I've played it, the more I've realized how to utilize cover, how to move more efficiently throughout the map, not to stick my head up, things like that. It really helps cut down on the losses. But back to the squad mechanics, the AI that follow you around, they aren't exactly the brightest, and they really do get you kind of discovered a lot. Like, if you're trying to go for a flank, it's really obvious because they see you in a squad full of people moving together, and your AI aren't exactly moving cover to cover. They kind of stick their heads out a lot. If you go prone, they do sometimes go prone next to you, which kind of helps with this, but not always. They'll even walk in front of you and block your shots sometimes, which is kind of annoying. And, but I have noticed a little trick to kind of circumvent this whole problem. If you hit the X button by default on PC, you can actually tell your guys to defend an area by looking at it. So it's often good to kind of tell your guys to move ahead of you, and then you look for any rounds incoming on your squad, and then you counter fire on that position. So basically, you send your guys up to the A objective, you see that they're taking fire from the left flank, right? So you can see that, then you can start firing back on whoever's firing at your squad, vice versa. It's a lot more effective that way. There's also vehicles in this game, because, you know, War Thunder devs. You've got aircraft and tanks. The tanks are really fun. They have their own little, like, mechanics where you have to, like, hop in and out of the tank to repair it, switch seats, all that good stuff. There's different types of ammunition that you can fire from the various different tanks. And honestly, it's a blast to use them and to get good at them. I'm not good at them. I die a lot. The Puma drivers on the German team are constantly taking me out. But it's cool. It's a great mechanic, adds a lot to the game. You could argue that they're a smidge overpowered, but that's only if they're in the hands of a competent driver, so there's that. Same with the aircraft, by the way. Although the aircraft don't seem to have a lot of counters from my experience, but I'm sure there are some anti-air emplacements throughout the map. My friend told me so, at least, but I haven't actually gotten my hands on those yet. I don't know where they are. I don't think a new player will know where they are. So it's going to be a bit weird with the balancing with the aircraft for a bit. But I'm pretty sure if you see an enemy aircraft and you have access to your own aircraft, you can deploy and then try to shoot them down yourself. But yeah, that's my thoughts on Enlisted so far. Will it stand the test of time? I mean, it's only in beta right now. I think it's open beta, so you can actually hop on it right now if you want to. I'd say it's worth a shot, at least. You know, it's free. It's only like 15 gigs to download, so it's going to not take most people too long. And it's got a pretty fun gameplay loop. It's really addicting, leveling up your squads, playing throughout the different campaigns. I didn't even mention the Russian front, like, oh my god, the snow and the white camo. It's so immersive having a Mosin in the Gaunt and sniping in that. But honestly, like, yeah, just give it a shot, see if you like it. Be really careful about the microtransaction stuff that's bound to come to this game. Just, you know, don't feel too bad if you're getting absolutely smashed by a team of players way higher rank than you. It's not your fault you're doing bad. You could be the best player in the world, and it wouldn't matter, because sometimes people just have way better stuff than you going in. Think about it like it's a game of Escape from Tarkov, only less hardcore. But yeah, that's my thoughts. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.